Welcome to this week's update from the United Soybean Board. I'm AgriTalk host Chip Flory. Joining me, Steve Reinhard. Steve is a soybean farmer from Ohio and leads the Farmer Leaders as chair of the United Soybean Board. Steve, it's good to talk with you again.
Yep, good to be back with you, Chip.
All right. The last time we had a conversation, Steve, you mentioned that USB and the leadership is working on fiscal year 2025 planning. Where are you in that process, and how are the plans coming together?
Sure. So we're about halfway through that process. We begin it back in December, and we'll conclude that process at our board meeting in July. And so about halfway through, so we've taken things from concept to trying to refine them into a more malleable now type project or program that can be rolled into a larger portfolio. And we'll have, I think, 2 touch bases, probably one in April and then again here in June before we get that final product in July.
Okay. And the thing is, there's a lot of moving parts that go into putting the strategic plan for fiscal year 2025 into play. Each working group that is working on different projects, it's got a project lead, correct?
Correct. We have a soybean farmer from the USB board that's been elected by their peers to lead that priority area. And so they kind of help focus working with the staff and some contractors to make sure that those concepts get molded into a tangible project that we can put forward for the whole board to look at. And we're always looking at how we can, ROI for the farmer. So the farmer's putting dollars into the pot, and we want to make sure we're getting 10s and 20s back to them. And, we're looking at moving whole soybeans, soybean meal, and now soybean oil.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. And having farmer leaders stepping up to take the leadership of those working groups, it's the only way to get this done, isn't it?
Well, it is. And, we have 77 volunteer board members, and every one of them can contribute in a different way. And so we have some that are available to do a lot of things, and we have some that are not available. You do have your commitments at home and commitments with the family. And so it makes a pretty good group by the time we get everybody together.
Yeah, exactly. Steve, what are these working groups responsible for? What is the task of the working groups?
Sure. So our working groups work in our supply and demand action teams. So we have innovation technology, and we'll have an innovation technology in both supply and demand, and then infrastructure connectivity, and then health and nutrition. And health and nutrition can cover animal agriculture, it can cover plant health and nutrition, it could cover human health and nutrition. So, a broad area there of different areas that we're trying to look at in both supply and demand. But the reason we have each working group in both action teams is because if we're trying to create a innovative product through the demand sector, we have to make sure that we have that supply of those soybeans, and high oleic is a good example of that product.
Excellent. So as USB is considering different projects and proposals, what are the working groups looking for in those proposals?
Well, again, it's trying to return investment back to the farmer. And a lot of times we're looking at dollars and cents, but it could be that maybe we're looking at something that a group is advocating for and that farmers should invest their money in. And maybe we have to do some testing to see whether or not it's actually a viable option. So in that case, we may not have a strong ROI on that particular project. But at the same time, if we're able to tell the farmer that, this is a product you may want to investigate, or, our initial findings are this product isn't really working, that's going to create value back to that farmer in a different way.
Yep, gotcha. All right. Steve, we're out of time for this week. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm sure that we're going to be talking again in the future. Thank you.
Yep, thanks, Chip.
All right, that is USB Chair Steve Reinhard from Ohio. If you would like more information about what is happening at USB, just go to www.unitedsoybean.org. I'm Chip Flory. I'll have another update from the USB leadership for you next week. Now, let's get back to AgriTalk.